Bezmir versus Queensryche. 360 albums, Tourney. Matchup 24, I think. Pits Arrival. No, Void by Bezmir. Arrival's the first track off the album. Against Operation Mindcrime by Queensryche. So I put the Bezmir album in here, and it's another band like DeWall that is not well known. There's less than 1,000 listeners of Bezmir on Spotify, and this is one of my favorite albums from the past 2 years in the black metal genre. It's in one of my pinned videos, the one with the black metal albums, and I just really love this album. It's from the Ukraine, I believe. I think it's one guy plays all the instruments and sings and produces it and whatnot. I don't know what any of the lyrics are. I think it's supposed to be something about space, but I don't really care. I just like the sound of it. It's kind of like classical music to me, but much better, because classical music kind of puts me to sleep, literally and figuratively. But this Bezmir album, I really enjoy it. I can get in a groove with it. It's great while driving. It's great while working, reading, doing household chores. It's pretty solid while working out. Not as good as DeWall, though. Really enjoy this album. If you like black metal, lesser known black metal, dial it up. And if you like spacey metal, this might interest you, because I think this predates Blood Incantation. But there are times that it reminds me, like the mellower moments reminds me of Blood Incantation. So that's going up against Operation Mindcrime by Queensryche. I don't know what Queensryche's genre is. At one point, my brother-in-law Kevin Love was asking me just to randomly spout off like 5 of my favorite hair metal bands, and I was like, well, maybe Queensryche, but I don't think they're hair metal. I think they're probably considered prog metal, but they've got a lot of hair metal vibe to them as well, because prog metal usually kind of puts me to sleep, kind of like Dream Theater and stuff like that. Anyway, Operation Mindcrime. I owned Empire growing up and listened to it a ton. I don't think I owned Operation Mindcrime, but I've always enjoyed it. I guess it's a concept album, a metal opera or metal play. I've never really dug in. I need to dig in and get the full breakdown of the story. It's got something to do with corruption and vice, and corruption and greed and religion and politics and human trafficking, I believe, comes into play, as well as other types of trafficking. But it's a very artfully written album, and like when I was listening to Speak on the way to work, knowing that Queensryche's from Seattle, that's why I'm recording outside, because it's raining today in honor of Seattle. Knowing they're from Seattle and this was recorded decades ago, I was like, man, this is like prophetic, like Nostradamus, what happened in the past few years, politically and just social activism and whatnot, especially in the Pacific Northwest. But that album is so good. It keeps me engaged. I like every track. There's no skips. There's one song that's slower than the rest, but it's still really good. Sweet Sister Mary. Help me out here if you know Queensryche. Somebody like Mark's Metal Minutes or Morgan Lay probably know this. Is there ladies singing with Jeff Tate on this, or is he doing like King Diamond and doing all the vocals himself? Because if he's doing all the vocals himself, it's mind-blowing, the vocal artistry on that track, Sweet Sister Mary. Whether he's doing it by himself or not, it's a phenomenal track. Spreading the Disease has always just been a great groove. So as much as I love Bezmir, and I love them a lot, and I put this album in, I don't remember who put the Queensryche in. This is the end of the ride in the 360 albums Tourney for them. Moving on to the round of 180 is Queensryche, Operation Mindcrime. I know Real Parabolica said this was a life-changing album for him. Tell me about it. Do y'all know it? Are y'all fans of Queensryche in general, and this album in particular? Anybody heard of Bezmir on here other than me and maybe Mark's Metal Minute? Maybe some of my Scandinavian black metal friends. Let me know. Cheers.